Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of FFSI DFS Major League Baseball coverage. Today is Monday, 4/19. There's 7 games today, but the first one's really early at 11:10 a.m. on the East Coast. It's the Battle of the Sox. It's the White Sox versus the Red Sox. It's the annual Patriots Day game. So probably by the time you watch this video, that game will already be underway, so we won't cover that. But we'll cover the 6 games that are going on this evening, starting at 7:05. Weather looks great for all the games, so pretty exciting. Shouldn't be any cancellations. I don't think there's any teams out there with COVID concerns, so keep our fingers crossed on that one. So let's start looking at pitching. I think up at top, Joe Musgrove, 10-2. I think he's a great option on both sides. I really like him. He had that no-hitter that he pitched 2 games ago. Then he came back and went 6 strong innings, got the quality start, put there up 31.7 DK points. He had 8 Ks in that game also, and he comes up against a Milwaukee team that still doesn't have Yelich back. I don't believe he'll be back for this one yet. So currently there are 7th overall in Major League Baseball with a 26.9 K rate. So there's some Ks there. He's a good pitcher. He's got a good offense behind him, even though across the mound, or across the field from across the dugout from, we'll call it that, you have Woodruff, who's a decent pitcher. Also, he comes in at 9K, but I don't know. San Diego's got a good offense. Woodruff has struggled a little bit here and there, so I don't know if I would really consider him. And of course, you probably don't even want to stack it. Maybe in a weird GPP, like if you really want leverage, if Musgrove's going to be highly owned and you think that Woodruff can hold the Padres at bay, then he's one to take. And they do have a very, very strong bullpen. So if he does, for some reason, if they are able to get to Musgrove and they get the lead, then they should be able to hold it. But I think that range of outcomes is very slim. The second pitcher to look at today, so if that's our high pitcher, I think the other most popular one is going to be Dylan Bundy, coming in at 7-7. He's up against a Texas team that has a very high K rate. I know Bundy can be erratic at times, but he has been more good than bad recently. So at 7-7, I think he's a great choice for SP2, and I think he'll be very, very highly owned. Some other options out there. Danny Duffy has actually started off the season decently. The Rays can hit, but sometimes the Rays haven't been super consistent. They only have a 3.66 run total. So he's one that could potentially be good. Dustin May gets Seattle. May, again, any Dodgers pitcher outside of Bauer seems to have a short leash. May has struggled a little bit sometimes with left-handed hitters, and you got some good ones, definitely like a really good one with Kyle Seager in the Seattle lineup, and Morales and Trammell, JP Crawford might be okay, but I don't think they're super dangerous. So, but then again, how long is May going to go? And he's 9-7, so that's pretty high. He might be. I definitely think like the Dodgers, who I believe have the highest. No, they don't have the highest total on slate, but very, very close. It's like 0.08 difference between them and the LA Angels. But anyways, they should put up runs against Seattle, so the win accuracy is definitely there. And if you want a little bit of a differentiation in the GPP, I think May's a solid pitcher. If you just to get down from Musgrove, maybe get a couple other bats in your game. So Justice Sheffield on the other side, I'm not interested against this Dodger lineup. Arihara from Texas, I'm not interested in against Bundy. Even though he's the cheapest pitcher on the slate, I think that Angels offense has the highest total, and I think that they're going to do some damage against him. Who else here? We have the Cardinals and the Washington Nationals. It's an 8.5 total, 4.4 for the Cardinals and 4.1 for the Nationals. Flaherty, he's okay. He's 8.5. I think maybe I'd rather take Joe Ross on the other side. Ross has been very good versus righties, and the Cardinals have a very right-handed heavy lineup besides Carpenter, who I think he's a little bit past his prime, and Justin Williams down at the bottom of the order, who isn't really good. Edmund up top is a switch hitter, so maybe there, but primarily you have right-handed batters. So I think he could definitely limit some damage. And if you're looking for some expensive bats, then maybe Bundy's your SP1, and you have Joe Ross as your SP2. If you want somebody that's down a little bit risky, but Gosman has had a really good start to the season. He's decent priced at 6.6, and there's some strikeouts in this Phillies lineup. And he's been good striking out right-handed batters. So I definitely could see playing him if you're looking for some savings. Chase Anderson on the other side. San Francisco really doesn't strike out that much, and you have some decent lefties up against them, especially at the top of the order. So, and even the bottom of this order isn't too bad also. So I would probably avoid him at 6.8. So that's pitching. Let's talk about hitting. So obviously we'll go to the Dodgers. They've been hot, even against some good Padre pitchers. They've gotten it done. And you've got Justice Sheffield, who's a lefty, going up against them. And so you've got some really good right-handers and Betts and Turner and Will Smith, and Chris Taylor's hit a couple home runs recently, even down the bottom of the order for some savings. Like Pollock is okay, but he's still in this really good lineup, and he's a decent baseball player. I think he just gets outshined by the rest of them. So even batting 7th at 3.1, if you want some exposures to this Dodgers team, there he is. Neus Sheldon, if he's at third base, he's 2K. He's bottom price, minimum price on DraftKings. So if he starts, there's another bargain bat if you want to throw in your stack there. We do a little bit of a wraparound and go because they do pick up the DH here because they're in an American League park. So that's kind of awesome. The pitcher's not batting, so you get an extra Dodger bat. And if it's going to be a 2K right-handed Dodger bat, I would just say sign me up for that. The next stack to look at would be the Angels going up against Arihara, Ohtani. Even some of the righties I like. Trout, Upton is really cheap at 3.7. Jared Walsh is all the way up at 5.1, but I think, he might be worth it in this matchup to pay. You have the Padres also, but I think they're a little bit risky. Like I said, they only have a 3.82 total. They're against Woodruff, who's a good pitcher, and they have a really good bullpen in Milwaukee too. So I think there's some place you definitely look in GPP to get some differentiation if you want to throw them into a tournament. And if they do go off and for some reason the Angels and the Dodgers don't have good games, then there's a ton of leverage there because the ownership on them is going to be very, very low. Who else do we like out there? Against San Francisco, might get to Chase Anderson. They've got some really good lefties in there, some really cheap lefties too. Like your Yaz is 5.2, so that's pretty expensive. But Listella's 4 flat, Dickerson 3.8, Belt, who's a really good power hitter, lefty 3.4. So like some players there. Philly, not too hot unless I said Gossman's pretty good against righties, so maybe Bryce Harper as a one-off. Nationals, Cardinals, really think both pitchers are decent in that game. I think if you're going against for any of those batters, you just need to stack them. I don't think there's any one-offs that I'm super excited about there. Tampa Bay against Duffy, not too excited. I think he will be okay, and they have like a really low total at 3.66, which is at the lowest total on the slate. No, Milwaukee is, but still it's sub 4. Not interested. Maybe some of the Kansas City bats could be interesting against Fleming, but again, they're pretty expensive. I know a lot of people like to pay down at catcher, so having Salvador Perez, who's probably one of the best plays in the stack, is kind of counterintuitive to a lot of DFS players who like to punt the catcher position. But I think what you do is if you just cut Whit Merrifield out of the stack and just go, if their projected lineup is correct, 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe even 7, that's going to give you Carlos Santana, who's a switch hitter at 4.1 is reasonable. Sal Perez at 4.9, which again is pretty high for a catcher. Soler at 3.3, who seems to be underpriced and performing decently this year. Michael Taylor's got some speed. He can hit for contact. He's decent at 3.6, and then Hunter Dozier or Hanser or Alfredo down towards the bottom. They're not horrible players. Maybe only give you like 5 to 7 points, but still, to they get a hit and some of the other speed guys are on base, get some RBIs there. So that's a nice lower stack. Maybe some one-off bats if you want to target May with like Kyle Seager or Marmoleis from lefties from the Mariners. Not really interested in Texas. Again, not really interested in the Brewers. So that pretty much covers who we have. Let's just look out there and see if any values kind of pop up today for you. If you're trying to get, Musgrove as your pitcher, and then you want to take Bundy, who out there is a good fair price for you to be able to take. And I think, like I said, Neos is minimum price. Brandon Belt, lefty. Pollock, kind of like him. Justin Upton's under 4K also. Margot, again, I said not too interested in the Padres, but at 2.9 he at least has he's on Tampa Bay, so he's against Duffy, so there's a split advantage there. So there's a lot of ways you can go tonight, but again, just to recap, I think Musgrove's the best pitcher. Duffy would be the SP2. If you want a little bit of differentiation, save a little bit, I think Gausman has some K upside against Philly. If you want to go down a little bit from Musgrove to get a couple more bats in, Mays definitely has the win equity, might just have the short hook there against the Seattle team. And then for bats, Dodgers, Angels, Padres are there, but a little bit risky, but they could be good risk reward. Kansas City versus Tampa Bay, and some Giants for some value. So thanks for watching. If you leave us a comment, leave us a like, hit me up at on Twitter at MegaRuler31, and we'll try to answer your questions. McKinley 412 and I have loved the interaction that we've gotten from these videos and the questions that you guys sent out to us. And we cover so much more in the Discord and our premium package. We'll give you cores, we'll give you all kinds of updates and stuff. I know it's a scramble for a lot of DFS players on Saturday night when that Minnesota and Angels game was canceled due to COVID. We still had like an hour before lock, but still we were able to alert all our subscribers and kind of help them rebuild their lineups to get the best players that were left on the slate in that they could to try to salvage the night. And, we worked out pretty well. So thank you for watching as always. And again, please give us a like, subscribe, recommend to your friends. We want to keep this free content coming to you. So the more views that we get helps us to do that. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.